I never voted before because I felt like I didn't really understand what was going on. But now that I fully understand and I engage in news and what's happening with politics and what's going on, I felt like I need to vote to have a say in what's going on with my country, which party is going to be ruling and whatever the case is. So I feel it's very important that I'm voting this year.
Kumbulani, at the age of 20?
For me, because I'm basically a product of this new democracy, so it's very important for me to vote because I was born in 1994. So I feel like we must be the first group to show that, look, we're thankful for what our government did for us, and now that we have freedom. Yeah.
Dania, you? Why will you be voting?
I think it's such a privilege, and people before me have worked so hard for me to have this right to vote, you know, and I think it's such a privilege to have a say in the country, and it's so great to see me having almost like an impact in what happens around me and decisions being made in the country, and I have a say in that. You know, I think it's exciting.
Wonderful stuff. Now, Nadia, I'm obviously not going to ask you who you're voting for, but what are you looking for in the party that have you made up your mind who you're voting for? Let's go there. You know already. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to disclose that, but what is it about the party that you're voting for that is making you put your mark next to them?
Well, I'm just going to say what I'm looking for in a party is honesty. I want to feel that I can trust them with the decision of my future, because obviously I can't make some decisions that they do on my behalf. So I'm trusting them into thinking that they have the best interest at heart for me in the future. So that is why I'm voting for them.
And Kumbulani?
Without
telling us, of course, who you're voting for.
Well, I also have made up my mind about who I'm going to vote for, and basically for me it's more of a thing to say thank you for what this party has done for me thus far and giving me freedom. So it's important for me to be able to give back to that political party for giving me my freedom.
And Dania, what's informed your choices or choice?
I think just looking at the current state of our country, I think it would just be great to see a party that delivers on improving education, because I think that's where most things start, and that's how you build an economy, that's how you strengthen your nation, is with education. So I think a party that can deliver on improving our education system, that's who I'd really, that's who's been catching my eye most.
All right, well, I'm being told that I won't be in trouble for asking you who you're voting for, so if you are willing to disclose, I'm very interested to know.
I don't think I'll disclose.
All right, Kumbula?
I'm voting ANC.
Nadia?
I'm also voting ANC.
All right. Now, very interesting, because we have a lot of people who've been on the show, you know, previously in the weeks before this, since we started this debate. Some of them saying they're not going to vote. Now, what do you say to those out there who are feeling the same way, saying, you know, it's really, there's no point, I don't trust this government, or there is no party that is going to make a difference for me? What do you say if you have some of your friends who feel the same way?
Well, at the beginning, before I decided I was going to vote, I was one of those people that decided I wasn't going to, because I wanted to make a statement as in so many people haven't voted, so maybe they'll take that as a sign that there's a lot of youth or young people that are not voting, and it's this amount, and that is something that we should be worried about. Then I decided, maybe that won't make a statement. Maybe me voting for the party that I want might make a bigger statement. So I feel like if you don't vote, if you can stand in a line to become a VJ for some show for the whole day, you can stand in a line to vote for your country. So I think it's very important. You have to do it.
Kumbula, do you feel the same way about those who are choosing to stay away from the vote?
I think it's rather ignorant to not want to participate in a country that you're going to have to live in. I mean, it's going to have a direct effect on you, whoever's ruling the country. So for me, from my peers, it's a bit ignorant for them who don't want to vote. And I think as well, if you don't vote, you shouldn't have a say once whoever wins the elections.
Yeah, if you can't complain. Dania, I see you're nodding your head. You pretty much feel the
I was
same
just
way.
about to say, we're so quick to complain, yet we don't put in the effort to make any difference whatsoever. So I think it's a privilege that we have, and to not use that privilege is ignorant.
What are some of the issues that are sort of top of mind for you come this election? What are your concerns? Is there anything you're particularly worried about?
Well, like I said, I just like seeing education to improve, and then again also to see a leader who's just morally steadfast.
Kumbula, for you, what sort of bugs you at night or before you go to sleep? In your sleep even?
Well, what really bugs me is maybe it's the mismanagement of funds, because the funds that the government gives out, it needs to go out to people that really need it. So for me, that's probably the only thing that really bugs me. Otherwise, I agree that there's a good story to be told.
There's a good story. Do you agree, Nadia?
I do agree. I'm just praying that there's no violence on the day, because it's been very antsy lately between the two main parties. So I'm just hoping that's going to be a very peaceful day of voting.
I mean, you're going to put your mark down. You do say that, you know, you all have decided to vote. After this, will you are you prepared to hold the government that you put into power accountable? How do you think young people like you can actually hold the government accountable, the people that you vote for after May 7th?
How do we hold them accountable?
I mean, do you think that we have service delivery protests now? Do you think that is the way to go? What do you think South Africans can do? What are the best ways to get the attention of your government and say, listen, this is what you're not doing right for us?
I feel like protesting is the way for them to hear us, because there's no other way that we can get our voice spoken or heard. So I think protesting is the way to hold them accountable if they do not do things that we expect them to do, and have them called out.
Have them called out. Kumbula,
Yes.
how do you propose we call them out?
For me, voting is the first step, and then after voting for who you wanted, I think you should go and join that certain political party so you really know what they're about. And from the inside, it's easier for you to now voice your complaints and hold your government accountable.
Any ideas, Dania, on how you would keep track of those you put into power and make them accountable?
I think in a democracy we're sort of all leaders, so I think if you want to see something done, just, you know, do something small to do it yourself, and maybe join an organization like a charity or something. If you want to see the streets get cleaned up, just do something as small as throw something away, you know. So just be proactive like that, and we can make a difference too. And if they see we're making a difference, we're putting in effort to changing things, then perhaps they'll do the same.
Now, Kumbula said something very interesting, is to join the political party later to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Are all of you members of the parties you plan to vote for? Are you planning to join up and become members?
No, I'm not a member, and I'm not planning to join.
Why
become
not?
a member. I'm not sure. It's just I think that I don't have the capacity to be able to fundamentally be involved active in the party, so I wouldn't. No.
Kumbula, you probably will join.
I've joined already.
You've joined already,
I'm
okay.
Member, yeah. And I think it's not hard to be part of the member. It's actually to be part of the party. It gives you a lot of insights on what's going on, because sometimes when you read things, they just give you the tip of what's going on. So when you're inside, like, you have lots of access to information and you make informed decisions on certain topics.
And Dania, are you planning to be a member? Are you a member already?
I'm not a current member, but I think it's something I'd like to look into. Yeah.
All right, and just one last word from all three of you. Nadia, do you find that you are debating this? Are you having discussions with your colleagues, with your friends about politics? Is it top of mind for them? Do they really care?
It is top of mind, especially with my friends. We do have full-on debates about who they think is a better party, and it gets very heated, and some people get very angry.
Really?
But you know what? I just stick to what I believe in. I stick into what ANC has done for us so many years in the past, and I believe in what they believe in. Obviously, they're fighting a different battle than they did back then, but I still stand by them.
Kumbula, are you also having healthy discussions with your
Well,
peers?
trying, but I think for me, a lot of my peers are ignorant and not really interested in what's going on. They're very happy to reap the rewards, but they're not interested to partake in critical discussions.
Are you
about
planning
those
to
things.
change that with them?
I'm trying to. Yes.
Okay, well, you're not going to have, they're going to be waiting for you when you leave here now after what you've said. And Dania, do you get into sort of heated arguments like Nadia does with her colleagues or peers?
No, not really. My peers also, they're not too interested. Not many of them have registered to vote, sadly. But yeah, I do talk to older people, listen to their opinions. I think just try to take everyone's opinion into consideration.